and we're here today to conduct interviews for the Herculaneum Bicentennial Committee with current and former residents of Herculaneum. With us today are Laura Bequette, Mary Beckett, Don Taylor, and John Wayne Kinder. Welcome to everyone. Let's begin with question number 1.
What are the names of your parents? And we'll just start from left and go to right.
From left to right.
Yeah, so you first.
That would be left. That's what I said. I thought you said go from left to right. Okay, you can right to left.
Yeah.
Okay. Gloria Beckett. My parents were Mabel and Russell Jackson.
Okay.
I'm Mary Beckett, and my parents was Russell and Maple Jackson.
I'm Don Taylor. My father was Ray R. Taylor, and my mother's Thelma.
I'm John Wayne Kinder. My father was Anton Kinder, and my mother was Vanola Kinder.
And the next question would be, are they from Herculaneum? If not, where are they from?
My mother was from, not originally. She was from Tip originally. She moved to Herculaneum when she was small. My father was from Festus.
Okay.
My father was from Tip, Missouri, and my mother was from Festus, Missouri.
My father was from Prairietown, Missouri, and my mother was from McBride, Missouri.
Okay. How many generations of your family have lived in Herculaneum, if any?
3.
Same.
Ours is the
Yeah.
same.
Three.
Sisters.
2, I would say. Grandmother and my father, yeah.
Did you or any of your family members work in Herculaneum?
Yes.
Yes. Our grandfather and our step-grandfather and our uncle.
And my father worked for the lead plant for 40-some years.
Dover.
My father worked St. Joe there for 47 years.
I'm going to attack some of these questions.
Are any of you residents of Herculaneum at the current time?
I'm not.
How long did you live in Herky whenever you did live here?
From, I guess, when I was about 3 until 17.
I lived about 13 years.
I moved here in 1947, and presently still live here.
I'd say roughly 30-some years for me.
Okay, so wow. What school did you attend in your elementary days?
I attended a Douglas school. The building, well, it's not the same building that is still there, but it was in the same place that the old building is now.
Okay.
I did too.
I attended Herculaneum Douglas Grade School and the Herculaneum High School graduate.
Okay.
I'm the same at Douglas and then Herculaneum High School.
Okay, well, since we got on this topic of Douglas School, why don't you tell us a little bit about it, because we're not really familiar with it.
Well, when I went to Douglas school, like I say, it's not the building that stands now, but it was on that order. It was a one-room building with one teacher who did 8 grades. She taught 8 grades.
Wow.
We had an outdoor toilet that I was always afraid to go to because it was located at the edge of those woods that are still there.
Okay.
We did have a drinking fountain and a wash basin in the inside. Let's see, what can
And
I
heated, the heat was heated by, I guess you'd say coal and wood stove. That was the heat in there. As far back as I can remember, I don't believe we had electricity in there either. Do you?
Yeah, I think
In the later
years,
years,
we
in
probably-
the later years,
Yeah.
but I think at first I don't think we did. But we,
And you had to take them
Mhm.
huh?
put the fuel in them stoves back
Yes.
them days.
Right,
Yes,
we
that's
did.
what we said.
And we played
Mhm.
outside. We didn't have a gymnasium or anything. We played out in the grass, the gravel.
And we didn't have a lot of equipment. We had
Swing set.
swing set, that was about it, ball and bat.
And I
Did
think
you
it was
basketball?
probably, it wasn't new.
Basketball.
It wasn't
No,
new at
no.
all. So that's all we did. We just played,
Yeah.
for recess.
The Herculaneum Douglas grade school basically had all the modern conveniences at it. Didn't have had a fairly large area, and basically they had a basketball court or goal out there, and it was a pretty well active. Basically, they're also speaking about the Douglas High School, which then was in Festus, Missouri, and I don't know if that's South 4th Street,
Yes.
which where that was at.
But up here, we didn't, when I grew up, I mean, when we were going to school, we didn't have a basketball goal up there.
No.
We didn't have all that.
All we had was a swing set that I recall.
That's all.
I didn't remember exactly when they built it.
This was the Slade's building?
Last
Oh, we
building.
didn't attend that.
No.
No, we didn't have a basement.
We attended the,
Yeah, we
That was
attended
the one room, the old school, and it was
Yeah.
in the.
Yeah, it was built, I graduated from Douglas Elementary in 51,
That's
and it was built after that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
the high school, and I think this high school built it in Paul Province, remember? Paul Province, the janitor, and some of the high school boys built that. It was made out of clay blocks.
Built the school?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I remember we didn't have it. We didn't have any of the modern conveniences.
And our mother also attended that school.
Oh, she did? Well, during your elementary days, did you recall any special events that happened, like nationally or local? Any like big stories, big events?
No.
Well, one of the
Nothing
big-
like
one
9/11, of
the-
course.
No, no.
One of the biggest stories was the athletes, track athletes, and that was one thing that kind of put Herculaneum on when the schools merged.
Yeah.
There, we had a lot of
From over here.
From over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not over there.
Including John Wayne.
Yeah, oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty good
But
athlete.
Some of the track, and it's quite confusing because we were Herculaneum Douglas schools, so when they'd have a track meet competing against the regular Douglas school, they'd get the points mixed up and figure them out. And
That probably was confusing.
They were confusing, especially when they're winning, they'd be losing one of the track meets, and they'd say, hey, you got that. This is Herky, it's not Herculaneum Douglas. You have to just tell them that you're Herky now.
Yeah.
Herculaneum School.
Years ago, they used to have a mental area here. I mean, it was a lot of schools. And little Douglas would be running in it. They were tough.
Yeah, Douglas High infested, yeah.
They were really good. In fact, at one time, there was two boys that went to state that tell me,
Yeah.
Mr. Ron Harrington and Mo Bice went to state, just two track athletes, and took the state.
Really good.
Wow.
And that was during the time that I was in high school.
Yeah. Do you have any remembrances of when the public schools were integrated?
Well, actually, they were integrated in 54. I was then junior in Douglas and Festus. But Herky chose not to take their students till the end of 1955. So I still graduated from Douglas School in Festus. Now, some of the other cities like St. Mary's, DeSoto, and St. John took their students that year. Herky, Crystal, and Festus did not. They were,
Fairtown, Farmington, too.
yeah. So that made my senior class kind of split up, because some of the students that would have graduated with me from Festus Douglas School graduated from their own hometowns, which we could have easily done, but I was happy to graduate from the school that I was already at.
The biggest thing is that they would bus every day
Right.
from those distances to the school.
Yeah, because they came from,
Every time Farmington,
Arlington, Tosi, St. Mary's.
back and forth every day.
Yeah.
So 45 minutes drive every
Oh,
day.
no.
No, yeah.
I would go home with some of my friends, and we'd get out of school about normal hours, about 3-something. And by the time we would get to like Arlington, it would be dark. We would get up again then like at 4:30 or something to get ready to get back up here to school because, you know, the same bus driver had other little towns that he had to go to pick up too, you know. Now, we were bused from Herky.
But not in a bus, it was in a car.
Station.
And then eventually, the one that took us from Herky started picking up Crystal. So we would swing from Herky to Crystal or vice versa. She would go Crystal, Herky, and then there. We didn't have enough for a bus.
Do you recall any of the teachers or counselors or principals from your high school?
From my high school?
Yeah.
They had one teacher.
Yeah, from my grade school, I know you said high school, but I want to get into my grade school at Market first. From high school, I remember all of my teachers and my principals. Miss McCullough was one. She also taught at Festus. She just retired not too many years ago. Miss Palmer, Mr. Gilkey, Miss Dodds. I have so many. The principal was Mr. Cooper, and you know, I have fond memories of my, you know, days. It was better, I think, going to high school than it was going to grade school. Of course, back then, it was a way of life, and you didn't know any different, you know, so it was okay.
Did you guys participate in any activities such as sports, clubs, organizations, school plays while attending school? Probably wasn't too many available, but
Not here.
yeah.
For them, it probably
Yeah, I was in high school band, played some football, Future Business Leaders in America.
FBLA.
I was in probably 8 or 10 other organizational things. I can't remember all of them at the present time.
Well, I would have been in some, see, I would have been in Douglas High in Festus.
Okay.
And I was, you know, I was honored student. I was in Daughters of the American Revolution. I was in chorus and things like that. But even still there, we had gym outside. We didn't have a gym until they built us a gym over there, which still stands on South Mill Street.
South Mill Street, yeah.
But as soon as they built it, it was supposed to be in our gym. Then the other school, Festus High School, started using our gym, so it really wasn't our gym. We shared it.
Yeah.
Did you attend church in Herculaneum?
Yes.
Current chapel.
It's over there by the school.
Yeah. Up on top of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any memories from your church days at Burn Chapel? Go ahead.
There's only one thorn aside from Herculaneum. I missed one day at school in 12 years. But I lived in the church basement.
Wow.
There, next to the school, and a lot of rules and regulations and changed. So if I could have one thing to do over again, I would. I had to attend a funeral that it wasn't a direct relative for, and that was something that they hurt me more than anything.
Do you recall any of the clergy that worked at the church?
What did you say?
Reverend
Let's go
Meadows.
back quite a bit.
Yeah, Reverend Meadows.
The one gentleman that he still lives in St. Louis. He had like he was there 3 or 4 served ministry there 3 or 4 times.
I was so young because we
I
changed the
remember
calendar.
Reverend Meadows, and I also remember, I can sing, but I can't remember his name. we had about 5 or 6, you know, and also too, that was a little one-room church, which is still a one-room church, but they have a lot of
Improvements.
Yeah,
This was some reunion type thing we had at Forest Park. And
oh, we used to love that every year.
This minister was there with his president
I know.
church, and
It'll probably come to me when I get home.
yeah.
Can I just interject here?
Yes.
I'd like for you to go back to the Douglas School and let Don and Wayne, because they were in that
Right.
transition, moving from 8th grade to the high school, correct?
Correct.
So if you can just go back on that. And I'd also like for you to say a little bit more about Mrs. Burris, because I
Oh, okay.
had her in,
Oh, yeah, there
when
Yeah.
she moved over to the Roy and Taylor building. And
Okay.
I think a lot of people that might see this will remember her.
Right.
And I'd like a little bit more about
Okay.
her and.
See, because these are the,
Well,
with
yeah,
the earlier
We
years.
had this first.
Yeah, I think, where's there about 5 or 6 years
What?
difference in you, or
What?
in age, or is it more than that?
It's more than that, between him and I.
Okay, because, you're talking about the school that was there.
Yes.
They attended the school
That-
that is there.
And,
They attended both.
yeah.
maybe both.
They attended
Yeah,
both.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
So if you could just maybe elaborate on that a little bit more. And,
I don't remember the
He don't remember.
previous
first.
school at all. I just remember.
Yeah, but you stopped
he
young.
got marked.
You had him for 3 years.
I was,
He had the old school for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
he was
mean,
young.
still in all, you know, lots happened.
You don't remember that big old barn?
What year you born?
there, I was born in 1944, and we moved here in
So I'm saying-
1947.
You know, she put down upper grade.
Oh, I made 2 grades. I did 8 grades in 7
You know, Miss
years.
Burris would do that.
Yeah, I did.
Class.
I did,
You keep them ahead.
8 grades in
Yeah,
7
but
years.
you understand.
Basically, to keep from having one student, she had all 8 grades, but they had one person in each grade. If you were close to the starting age, they would start with the people. I was actually 16 and a half when I graduated, and my senior year, I needed better guidance counselors because I only needed a credit and a half to graduate my senior year. Then we had to attend a certain amount. Now you can take some college classes or go on with something different. So I had a lot of study halls and was in a lot of organizational stuff my last year in school. But one of the things I played in the high school band, I was a fair athlete, but I wasn't an outstanding athlete like John here. And so I was kind of shadowed underneath there, but when he graduated, I went right to the top. I don't know what the next year there to start with. Herculaneum has always been a good experience for me, and the singing in the choir, and I did later in the Glee Club choir, high school band, and we were terrible musicians, and we had guts. Right.
I thought y'all did a good job.
Well, we did. Then we thought we did too, but when you hear
Here, back,
when
play back.
you hear the band today, I just remember it was tough times playing and doing it, and it makes you really proud to be had been a part of that organization there to start with. And I see a lot of the people, they always ask me about my class reunion, and they always try to figure out, well, you graduated then? I said, no, it was 10 years before that. I graduated there to start.
again, if you could talk about when that change took place, and if you said integration happened in '54, it didn't happen here until '55 school year, right? So what do you recall?
Okay, the basic Herculaneum system, it had grade school, middle school, and high school. We had grade school and high school. So when this time started, it would have been our junior high period. Well, there was no organization for that. Here they had 2 classrooms, and they were kind of overcrowded. I believe our class, until recently, we had over 100 kids in our senior graduating high school class. And before then, I believe it was only 60-something. So again, caught up with that and not having the room. So basically, we still kept the same building. The building voted back to Herculaneum school, into the Herculaneum school system, and dropped the Douglas name on it. So we had to utilize the facility for one more semester, and actually it was a joint graduation in doing it. I believe that I had to give the speech, welcome. So that was kind of frightening because it's 700 or 800 people all at one time. It's just not used to that many. That many people together, actually, and then the following year we flowed into that. But basically, I think it was trying to get the facilities large enough to handle the people.
How would you accept it into it?
Well, their expectations. We had a teacher for all 8 grades. Our study habits, I felt, weren't the best. And when you come in and all of a sudden you have 8 teachers or 9 teachers there and homework and stuff. For me, it was a little traumatic to try to get to that level of discipline there to start with. I don't know if any other individuals had that problem, but I know for me it felt hard scheme to get into. I always compared it to like the kindergarten person going to college, to get used to, well, you've got 8 homework assignments a night that were before you might have one every 2 or 3 days or something like that. That's speaking for me individually. I don't know about everybody else if they had felt, kind of felt that way or not, was put under extra strain on work assignments and that during that time period. I only had one problem that I can remember ever having a social experience in dealing and going in with the integration system. And basically we were going to the band was making a trip to Columbia to play for opening Missouri University's football game. And so it's quite a long trip, so you had to stop at a restaurant or something to get something to eat in between the trip. And so I had really not run into any problems before. And basically we're getting off the bus and this guy's screaming, he can't come in here to eat. And I'm looking around to see what he's talking about because we hadn't been exposed to that before. And so it wasn't anything, it was embarrassing. And about half of the kids that were on the bus that heard that they didn't eat at the restaurant either because I could eat there. But that wasn't the way that I'd been treated or felt that I'd been treated in the town of Herculaneum and the surrounding things. So we lived there, we did the performance up there and made sure that we needed a place when we came back home to start things.
But you don't remember in Herculaneum, you don't remember none of this? That when you went to the drugstore, you couldn't sit on the stools with the...
Right, but I knew that ahead of time.
Yeah.
And so
Or you
I could still get served, or I could get something.
Yeah, you could get served.
But that was the whole.
Or you could go to the show.
Two tables for the bar.
Yeah.
Right, and
Yeah.
you couldn't go to the show because, I mean, you could go to the show, but
They
you
had
had to go
certain
upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to say one thing. I did attend Douglas High School in Festus, and like Don said, I completed, like, say, 8 years and 7. And when I went to Douglas, Miss Burst was a very good teacher, I admit that. But when you have that many students to teach, you cannot, I feel you don't get as much as the other kids are getting when they have 2 or 3 teachers. But, and there's no reflection on Miss Burst, because I thought she was great. But I did attend, and I did find that, like, say, for instance, Crystal students were more advanced in what they had learned than I was. But I studied hard and everything, and I ended up valedictorian. So I felt that was an accomplishment coming from a small school like this, with one teacher. So evidently she gave me the basic education that I need. I might not have got quality education, but I got a good education.
I graduated from Douglas Grade School in '56. That was 3 was Henry Burst, Ron Case, and myself. And I think we were the last 3 to graduate from that school. Then we came to high school over here. That was in 1956. And we played sports and was on campus football. We played football, and I was a guard, Henry was a tackle, and Ronald was an end. We was all on the same side. And we all made the varsity team, which was funny, freshmen. And then Ronald family, they moved to New York. That just left me and Henry. And at the time was Henry, myself, Maggie, and Alfred, the only black students at Herculaneum High. The following year, Don Taylor came in, and Charlene, Jean, and Nelton. And at the time, I think it was maybe about 6 or 7 of us in. But I didn't have any problem with any of the children or anything, because by playing sports here, by playing baseball during the summer and everything, I made good friends with a lot of kids there at Herky. Sports got paved the way for me. But I think what really paved the way for me was when Jackie Robinson became the first black baseball player in 1947. That paved the way for a lot of us through sports. Now, I have been denied to eat in places when we played sports. Or either they wanted me to go around and come to the back door and eat in the kitchen, and I would refuse. Then they wanted to bring me the food. I wouldn't eat it. I mean, I was denied service at a lot of restaurants. It really hurt me. But that's the way things were back then.
That's the way it was, yeah.
And we had it hard, we did. But the kids didn't treat me bad at school. Herky then had kids from Antonio, Kingswood. I'd say 60% of our students was bused in. And they never did give me a rough way.
Well, too, growing up in Herculaneum, most of the kids played together anyway.
Yeah.
And one thing I always tell people that in Herculaneum, everyone respected each other, regardless of what race you were. And that's really wonderful to come out of a small town like this. I guess because everyone knew everyone, because most of the people worked at St. Joe Lead, you know.
If you did something wrong, everybody.
Oh, no, there isn't that.
I mean, if someone spank you, and you go home and take your parents, you got another spank.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or beat you there before you got there.
I never forget Nanny told me, Miss Bell told me, Rodney was older than me, you know, Port Chaplain, teaching me this and that, and I'm saying this and that. And Miss Bell was in the chair, you know how we had in the chair.
Yes.
And she said, I'm gonna get you. And get me later. I forgot about it and got within arm reach of her. She grabbed me, turned me upside down, and wore me out. I went home crying and told Mom, Miss Bell, I got another one.
I know, that's where it was. That's where it was. And at Christmas time, well, we did this all year, but at Christmas time, it was so much fun.
Yes.
We didn't have a lot of money, our parents didn't have a lot of money. But we would start at one block and just make that whole circle. And we had a good time.
Who made the best wine?
Grandma first. Yeah, right.
I forgot we on.
Oh, we're going back there. Yeah.
I'd like to ask another thing.
Oh.
Sorry. You referred to the drugstore and not being able to, I think you said set the two booths and
We had 2 tables.
our tables.
Mhm.
How did that make you feel? Or did you, or was it just the time?
At the time, it was just the time. It didn't
Across the
really bother us at the time.
It really
You look
didn't.
back now, you know it wasn't right, but
Right.
you accepted it because that's how it was.
Way of
But
life.
here's the thing. Say me and you were buddy, you white and I'm black. We go in there. You could come back in and sit with me,
Mhm.
but I couldn't go and sit up at the stew. And same way at the show. We'd be up the balcony.
Yeah.
And the white boys would come up and sit with me, but I couldn't go down below and sit with them.
And remember they had an ice cream shop up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was no.
Bonds.
Yeah. Same thing there too.
You got your ice cream cone and left.
So we mostly went walking down by the river, playing balls.
Played on the truss.
Played on the truck, yeah, and we went down the creek and we caught fish and
Mushroom hunt.
mushroom hunt. Well, we did that behind the school.
Yeah.
That was our
Recreation.
entertainment.
But we had some good ball games out there.
Hey, we had a good childhood. I think everybody
Even
had
when
a
we
good
was in high
childhood.
school, we come home and that's what, every day we had
Yeah.
a big ball game.
Yeah,
See, we didn't have cars like we do today to stop us. But
didn't have money like kids do today.
we had fun.
Basically in the area there, there was a special lane that was like a kind of a picnic area. Somebody broke out a pair of horseshoes, there'd be 20 people out there.
Oh, croquet ground.
Oh, you couldn't touch
Picking
that
horseshoes
ground.
or barbecuing and having enjoyable fun there. And when the shoes would start clanking and it could be heard all over Herculaneum, it was a community get-together there to start with. And you were given the respect that you gave other people. It's like saying, we were poor, but we didn't know we were poor because everybody
Right,
was the same
right.
there to start with. And you had to work together there to start with. And that's one of the main problems now. We just did and had a great time. We weren't looking for that, well, we gave you a good time, you owe us a good time next weekend. There to start with.
I say we had plenty of food. We were rich in that respect.
Yeah.
I guess we played sports more than anything.
I guess you did too.
Because we did, I mean, we played park ball, played football, played basketball, even played bottle cap. Remember you used to get on the
Yeah.
soda cap?
Or we
Marbles.
skate on the concrete sidewalk.
Yeah.
Hopscotch.
Yeah, hop them cracks. in the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
I was lucky.
Well, the croquet ground, we were talking about that too. And that was off limits because the older or parents and, that was their playground.
Wasn't it on the St. Joe?
It was over there by
I know where it
Yeah.
was, but when they owned by St. Joe?
Yeah. They had lights up there and
Yeah.
they wouldn't let you. Poor Uncle Johnny and Mr. Ferd. Mr. Ferd would tear him out.
Yeah, we could go there and watch, but we couldn't play. We couldn't play on that. I think we all have.
I made some good friends, at the school at Herky. Freddie Gray and Randy Keller and Jim Perry and the Helms boys. See, I was lucky, me and him, we were on the first conference team at Herky in football. It was a three-way tie though. There was Herky, Fredericktown, and Crystal. We all tied, but that was the first conference championship they ever had. And I really think that started the trend here at Herky and, building football.
What about George? Did George and Homer participate in
They played
sports?
Basketball.
I know they would have came the year of the first year that they integrated.
The first year was George and Homer played football, and Charles Shores was the manager. But I remember George mostly in sports was the middle area track meet. He was a little guy, short, and he usually ran the dashes, 100-yard dash and 220 we call it then, dash, and he didn't run. Coach Howell was saving him for the mile relay. And that was the best race I have ever seen in my life. Little George took off and gave us the lead, gave Herky the lead, and he gave the baton to Don Ruth. Don Ruth lost the lead and gave the baton to Homer Casey. Homer Casey brought the lead back up and gave it to Joe Bates. And we was dealing with DeSoto then. And DeSoto had an athlete by the name of Glenn Lewis. Glenn Lewis and Joe Bates do it all the way around that track field. And at the tape, Joe Bates stuck his chest out to win it. And that's the best race I have ever seen in my life. But I sure didn't expect little George to run a quarter that day. I mean, that boy ran good that day. But he always ran a 100-yard dash or 220, and he was always competing against two boys from Crystal City, Richard Rice and Dick Cook. And he'd push him. In fact, George would have the lead in the 100-yard dash for about 60 or 70 yards, but they would overtake him. But boy, some good athletes back in those days.
Yep.
And getting back to Miss Burrs, she, well, we all thought she was a wonderful teacher, what she was, but she would take up a lot of time with us, and she taught the girls how to crochet, how to embroidery, how to etch glass, what else was it? All kind of crap. Well, yeah, cookies. Well, yeah, but boys, everybody did that, the cookie. And which, and I still do a lot of that.
She had, remember when this lady?
But you don't act bad in her class when you got this.
She had the boys doing cooking and the girls.
That's what I said, boys did that too.
Union Electric furnished one of them was from Union Electric,
This day was
and they came down about once a month. They prepared the whole entire meal.
That was actually that stove and all that in there.
Yeah, that's when
See, we had to go over to her house.
After you got a new building.
We had to go over to her house, but we didn't.
You used to make candy and everything.
Oh, full candy. Yeah, I remember that full candy.
But anyway, I kind of liked it, going to her old one schoolhouse building, but like Don and Gloria.
Well, we had a lot of closeness.
If, you had other teachers you might have learned.
I think
you got the basic knowledge, but you got all the
Basics.
You got
the
the
skills,
basics.
you got
Yeah.
common sense
Yeah.
skills that.
A lot of that come from home too, the
Yeah,
basic
and
common
a
sense.
lot of that is God given, you got
Yeah.
that to go with, you know.
And
Yeah.
I was one of her special. Get that speak, took me under her wing, like I said, I had to do
Gotcha.
well, I did the welcome for the, our graduation class, and I know that speech she had me go.
Become a dorky now.
Probably 5,000 times for that speech. But it was perfect.
Okay.
Do you remember any colorful characters or individuals that everyone knew in Herky? Any people
Any
in the
standout?
community?
I see.
Some people in the
Everybody.
I
community.
see.
Miss Lexi.
I guess pork chop was my standout. You know, I really like to.
Well, Miss Lexi was right, you know, she put that little dust on that house.
Well, you say pork chop.
Yeah.
Is there any other unusual nicknames
Well, we all
that
had.
any of you guys had? Or
Yeah.
What was Dave's name?
Creeper,
Much. We used to call Dave Much.
the creeper.
No, there's something else.
Chew, wasn't it?
No, I can't remember what his name. His name he stood out to David Casey, but I can't remember his nickname.
Is this about over?
I don't think they even got to their
Oh, let's go
questions.
next question.
Ain't got another question?
I think they get to the, some of them, went off on a different subject for a while.
Growing up in Herky, where did you hang out with your friends?
Well, we
Oh, we covered that,
Oh.
on the lots, we covered
Oh,
On the
that.
streets and the sidewalks,
And at the grocery store.
Everywhere?
shows, parks.
Do you have any special memories of the Mississippi River or the Joachim Creek?
We
It always came up.
We fished down there, for, have something to do.
Yeah, and remember when we had high waters down all the time, we used to go down there and fish off the slab. Is the slab still down there?
Damn.
Well, damn, okay. I call it slab. Huh?
No,
No, but is it still
blocked
down
it
there?
off.
Yeah, okay.
Small portion.
And like I said, we used to play on that trestle that would be going across Joachim, the empties into the Mississippi. We
Right.
would go down there, which was dangerous, but we'd go down there and walk across that.
That's where we found all the
That
mushrooms.
shot tire.
Did any of you serve in the military?
Taylor did. There, 1965 to 1967 military police. And also have honorable discharge from the Missouri National Guard. Also.
Well, what was your fondest memories growing up?
I'm still working on that.
My fondest memories was the community that I came from. That little circle, the people in it. It was just like one large family. Like like I said, that we grew up in the village. And now the memory's gone, because most of the houses are gone. And that's kind of sad when I come up, because every now and then I guess you say I get kind of homesick or lonesome or something, and I'll drive up and I'll ride all through it, and it doesn't look the same. Because all those memories, they have to be in here because they're gone.
One of my memories, there's one to mention, you always, once you graduate and live in any community, you always want to give back to the community something of some sort. Everybody should do that. And my accolades were, I was able to help get the college started at Jefferson College. The basic job that I had first was selling office supplies and equipment in the county. So I had started out with Jefferson College when they were in house trailers behind the Hillsboro school, high school, where they first started. And also I was able to later on teach in the adult education program for them, and on the board of directors for adult education for about 10 years there with it. And actually I started teaching a class on beekeeping for beginners, and at the time he went on to be a state officer for with the regular organization at Missouri University. And we had later on, they were having little financial difficulty keeping the adult education classes going, and small, I taught a class in small engine repair there also. And we, at the time I started teaching dance lessons, and kind of helped introduce them to the aerobics classes. And as far as I know, Jefferson College has been in the red, was in the red on the adult education, and never gone back there. And that was basically in about 1982. So once they started doing the dance classes, the aerobic exercise classes in adult education, now, as far as I know, they still have all the money that they need to where they have doing some other nonprofit things that they're doing. They have enough money to carry over to continue to do that. So that was just some of the things that I was able to get to help give something back to the community that the community has done for me to help.
Well, I give a lot about the communities. I'm a volunteer in a lot of things. I laugh sometimes and I think, boy, you need to go get a job instead of volunteering all this, you know. But I like what I do. And so since I'm by myself and all my kids are grown and I only have my little dog, so you know, I have time. Sometimes I should be home doing something, but I'm out. But I do a lot of volunteer work. And I live in Crystal City, but I do a lot in business in Crystal. Also, too, I am a volunteer in at John Cochran Hospital in St. Louis. Okay. I'm on the cemetery board out at Mount Zion. I don't know, you all probably don't know where this is. No. Well, it's off of CC.
Okay.
And it's an old cemetery that had grown up, and you really couldn't tell it was a cemetery. And for years, everyone's been talking about doing something, but you know how that is. So I guess about 4 years ago, they started this board. And so we've been working on that. And we're trying to get it to look like this one up here in Herky. I don't know the name of the one that Rankin. Okay, Rankin, because that one looks so nice. And I have a lot of people buried up there too. And and I'm on the library board in Crystal City. So and probably I left something out, but that's okay. Oh, I know one of my other ones too. I'm a volunteer for St. Vincent de Paul. And so I feel that I am giving something back to the community. I don't know if you know what St. Vincent de Paul does.
No, ma'am.
But anyway, it's an organization. It's a Catholic organization. We have a clothing room down there behind the Catholic Sacred Heart. And we have people that call us that needs help. They may need their light bill, their rent, or clothing, or food, or something like that. And then we go out and we make home visits, and then we help them with whatever they need. And that's pretty rewarding. It's, you know, you go in there, you don't ever know what you're going to find, but it makes you feel good when you can help them.
one question. Don, did you teach everybody in town how to disco?
Quite a few.
He still discos.
I had 1,000 people a year through
Everybody but his own
dance
brother.
lessons for
Oh,
like
and his
7
own
years.
cousins. He tried with me.
Good. I still love to dance. For me, certain music, it's sort of like the pacemaker starts working or whatever. When you hear certain songs that really gets up there. But I also I did the disco lessons, but also taught ballroom and dancing, and I actually do the college program.
So we left out.
Several.
We still
Normally,
go back to rugby.
I tell everybody I had to retire from the college because when you do the adult education class, you're supposed to get like 20 people in a class. Well, if I would have a class and get like a Ridgeway school in Arnold or Arnold school, when I get there for the class that night, I'd have 100 or 150 people per class. And everybody would make it through their class and everything. And I said, my contract's only for 20 people. To start with, but it's just natural matter for me.
That's good exercise.
It did exercise.
I don't know, one of you said something about, I think you asked a question about growing up or a fondest memory, or
Yeah.
one of you's answered it. And I think, Mary, you did something about, you just talked about the community, the circle. Does that all kind of fit everybody? I mean, it seems like everybody we've interviewed, the one thing they keep talking about is
Well, everybody,
the closeness of people, knowing
Yeah,
just like you said.
Yes.
All of
all
us
feel
have
that
given
way,
back.
or
And I feel, although some of us gone, we still close.
yeah.
Even though we live in different cities.
Yeah, we're still close. We always,
I mean, everybody was, just like a family here. I mean, we didn't have to lock no doors or nothing like that. I mean, someone had something going on, a project, everybody would help one another. That's where it was when I came up.
or somebody needed help, they were there.
And I know our grandmother, she cooked, anybody want to come eat?
Yes.
They come eat?
Nobody went hungry.
No.
If it was lunchtime and you were there at my house, you eat right there. You didn't have to go home, unless it was something that you didn't want.
Yeah, because at school, we didn't have a hot lunch program. We
But,
had to go home.
yeah, we used to go, well, Gloria and I did. I don't know, I guess Wayne was born then. His mother, in the summer, we would always go over and let her comb our hair. And I don't know if you remember that, Wayne, or were you born then? You probably wasn't born then. But we'd go over every summer. No one could comb her hair like
See,
her.
me and Shirley are the same age.
Okay.
So I don't know if he was in there.
Yeah.
When I was in school here, I tell you, the cafeteria was sitting about right here, wasn't it, Doc?
Yeah.
And you either could eat here, or you could eat over where they built a new soup's office at, which was Pug's Bar, or a little store named Pussyterian back.
No,
And-
it was Mary Lou's.
That was Mary Lou's, yeah. But then there was Pussyterian's store.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And then they had a campus inn up here, remember?
Yeah.
And then down the basement of the cafeteria here, you had a jukebox and you could get a
So we danced.
carton of milk for 2 cents and a sandwich. Yeah, you danced.
Well, see, now, when we were growing up, Gloria and I, we used to go over Miss Millie McCoy, Miss Millie and Sam McCoy, do you remember them? Okay, Preston, their son, we'd go over there, and in her living room, we'd have to roll back the rug, we rolled the rugs back, we scooped the furniture back, and we just danced till we got tired. And when we got tired, we would put the rug back and the furniture and go home. We do that so many times. I remember that. That was a good thing too.
Yeah, I see one question on here. Do you have any remembrances of the Korean War or Vietnam War? Well, I do remember that Preston lost his legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, both legs. And that was this very sad day. I cried all day long. I mean, we live right next door to him. He came back and he got 2 artificial legs. He learned how to dance. His personality didn't change. I mean, he really enjoyed life anyway. You know, he had the right outlook on it, you know. He learned how to drive a car. You know, he did well.
Remember when he was little, we raised money for his parents to go. I don't know where he was at.
I don't know either, but I remember my husband drove him there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We took him to see him.
Yeah. You remember Preston?
I remember when they built
His house.
the house there. I think, did the government build it or?
He probably got a GI.
Or GI.
Yeah.
I remember when I knew of him, when I knew the situation.
Right.
I just didn't think it was going real well.
Right.
Yeah, well, you get, you know.
Don't you boys have little lunch?
You want to sum this up?
Yeah.
That clock's wrong. Or it was. Is it right now?
Oh, it might be right.
It's right now.
No, it's right.
Oh, they missed lunch.
12:45. Yeah, we'll sum it up.
Just in summary, how would you sum up life in Herculaneum?
What did she say?
In
Summary.
summary, how would you sum up life in Herculaneum?
In the summer.
In summary.
Oh,
How would you sum up life in Herculaneum?
I'll kind of answer that. I think I've been asked to leave time more than anybody probably there to start with. Basically, I think it's an experience that a lot of people, if they could just grasp part of it, the togetherness in united we stand, divided we fall type situation. I've had some small business opportunities and many chances to do things for the community. One of the, I hate to admit, but as far as the high school being here, since I've graduated, I've probably really only been on this campus 30 or 40 times in the 40 years that graduated there to start with. That's good and bad. It shows that if they weren't doing things right or the way I felt that they were right, I would be here complaining about it. That's the type of person that I am, or try to do something to get it started. There's one time that the football team made something that they didn't have, shoes for the AstroTurf or something. And for me, when I heard that, well, I bought a pair of shoes for the athletes to be able to play at Busch Stadium or someplace. I don't even remember, right, I don't even remember what it was, but that was something good that I could do for that. I don't know what I do different. One of the 4 or 5 things I do different that I did in my life over again. But again, the big part for me is being able to help and give to the community. And I think if anybody experiences that same thing, they would think the whole thing. It's hard with the situation with the lead problem going on here, but the average citizen, I believe, has lived here in Herculaneum all their life. Every day is 78 to 82 years old, and a lot of people, if you could guarantee them, I guarantee you could live to be 78 years old. They moved to Herculaneum as fast as they could.
I really got some up there left forward than that.
Okay. Right, but I mean on the
People
well, yeah,
the
right, I
average
mean,
well,
just roughly there. But in other places, you were lucky if you got to retirement age there to start with. I probably, I don't know how many thousand pounds of that lead dust I didn't swallow.
But we all
Yeah, getting every day at noon, the yellow cloud would come through and choke you to death from the sulfur. And then my father worked at the plant. I don't know if he was the longest person working there, or not still to serve it, but I've had to go in that plant and work on the telephone system when I was with the telephone company, and it's amazing that any of them come out of that plant working a long time period without serious illness.
A lot of them came out,
Yeah.
a lot of them died from cancer.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Bard didn't, but a lot of them did.
Yeah.
And we had, what, 4 relatives worked down there?
yeah, we had 4 generations, I think,
Yeah.
of people working there that had worked at that plant.
Yeah.
Including Taylor.
Is that about all, or you guys got anything else to add in?
Well, I want to thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, no problem.
And we don't want to take your lunch time.
Oh, no, we've already had lunch.
Oh, we already had lunch?
We have lunch at about breakfast time, 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
What grade are you this year?
I'm a senior.
Oh, great.
All right. Nice to see you.